What's up, guys? It's the Unhinged Engineer here, back with the second episode of our OMSCS vlog. Last episode, I kind of talked about why I want to do this program and some of the context and motivation behind it. But for this episode, I just want to talk about the program itself, right? So it's going to be like pretty logistical, just what is the program, what do I have to do, how long should it take me, et cetera, et cetera. And then next episode, hopefully, if all goes smoothly, I will be done registering for classes and prepping for my first week of school, which is like a nightmare. But yeah, for this one, I just kind of want to talk about logistics and details surrounding the program for anybody who might be interested. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So like I mentioned last episode, I am pursuing a Master's of Science in Computer Science online. So it's the OMSCS program, and this is the homepage of their website. I'm just kind of going to be going through like relevant tabs here of like stuff that a GT student is likely to look at repeatedly, at least from what I could tell. And yeah, the only point I have here with their homepage is that it's built around flexibility for people who are working or maybe raising a family. So there are people in this program who are like a decade in their career or trying to make a hard pivot, or like me, where they're a couple years into their career, and even though they don't want to fully go back to school, they just want to, tune up their skills and get additional education. So it's built for what I think Professor Joyner, who's like a very popular professor in this program, would refer to as non-traditional students, right? So students who are out of undergrad and not doing school full time, which, I want to keep working. I really like my job. I want to save money. And so, yeah, I would fit right into that category. So that's part of what motivated me to do this program. Speaking of the program itself, what the hell is it, right? In short, it's 30 credit hours of courses. 30 credit hours of courses, about half of which are defined by your specialization, which I'll talk about in the next tab. The other half kind of being defined by whatever the hell you want. There's like a wide catalog of courses, and so you can really get like awesome range for 1 degree, which is pretty cool. And to be honest, at this point in my life, like I do not want to take classes on stuff I don't care about. And so my specialization is all stuff I care about, and there's enough flexibility within the program that I can only choose classes that I'm interested in. Obviously, like certain classes will have stuff that I'm just like snoozeville, right, bored. But for the most part, I think it's going to be only the stuff that I'm interested in, which is pretty cool. I'm not totally sure on this, and this is something further down the line, but I do think you can take some undergrad courses at GT and also non-CS courses at GT. The second one being much more interesting to me because I'd probably take an aerospace class or two, just kind of for my goals, right? Like drones, autonomy, that kind of thing. I think you can do that. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't found a ton of information about it. But yeah. So yeah, and aside from that, you need a 3.0 GPA. Hopefully we can pull that off. Cool. Okay. Next section here, specializations, right? So these are all the specializations. I was wrong last episode. There's not a cybersecurity specialization. I think there's an entire cybersecurity degree online also, so that would make sense. The one I forgot to mention was interactive intelligence. So these are the 6. This is the one I'm choosing, perception and robotics, so I'll look at that in a minute. But I also have computer graphics here, which is like brand new. I think this is the first or second semester of doing it. Computing systems, HCI, interactive intelligence, and machine learning. Yeah, and again, like I said on the last tab, about half your classes are defined by this, the other half by whatever you want. So, is this? Yeah, this is my specialization. Cool. So, this is my specialization. And like I mentioned a little while ago, it is pretty much all classes that I'm interested in, which is cool. So, this is like the general DSA class. Everybody's got to take it. I didn't study CS in undergrad, so honestly, I should take this. So as far as classes I'm not the most interested in, that's probably the closest thing, but I know that it's good for me. It's like eating vegetables, right? So yeah, and then they've got this like AI ML requirement, because obviously like robotics, perception has a lot of machine learning in it. And then from there, you have these 3 other courses. So like I said, there's 5. So 1 here, and then 3 here. My most likely plan is to take these 2 and then this AI for robotics class. From what I could tell, the computational photography class is about like stereo vision, and really like hardcore image processing. And then computer vision is about non-deep learning methods for extracting information from images. This is my like super rough impression of what these classes are. I say that this is a non-deep learning class because I'm pretty sure all the computer vision stuff that is deep learning is in the deep learning class. Duh. But I kind of like that they actually split it up because the non-DL stuff is pretty interesting to me. And then there's an AI for robotics class. I might actually take this one first if I can get in. I didn't want to take it at first because it's like one of the classes I'm the most looking forward to, and I kind of wanted to save it. But it seems like as of now, there's some seats in it left, and it might be one of the only ones I can get into because, as I'll talk about next episode, probably registering for your fifth class is kind of a pain in the ass. Yeah, I guess just to show another example, let's do the new, and that one's kind of similar. Let's do computing systems, right? So here's another specialization. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Computing systems actually has less. Oh, no, it has 18. That's more. Okay. So, yeah, so it said 15 to 18 on that first slide. So this is 18. I think my perception one was 15, right? 6 and 9. Yeah, 15. So 18 here. They also have graduate algorithms and then, like, you know, some of the core stuff you'd think of, OS, HPCA, and then electives, right? So, yeah, the structure is pretty much the same, even if, like, some have more or less freedom in them. But they're all pretty free. And speaking of freedom, this is the massive list of classes. And if I'm being honest with you, like I've said a couple times, oh, this is what drew me in, or that's what drew me in. But I do remember the first like visceral reaction of like, holy crap, this is pretty cool, was looking at their course list because it's so huge, right? These are all the online classes, and there's just like huge range here just to kind of call out some that I think are really cool. Let's see. So these are the two I have to take. This is a new computer graphics class I mentioned, class for the new major, or specialization, whatever it's called. Here's some of the learning classes: machine learning, reinforcement learning, deep learning, ML for trading. That seems fun. This one is also another new class that for my job is pretty relevant. GPU programming, basically. Yeah, and then they also have some like non-CS classes. So like I said earlier, I don't know if what they mean by take some non-CS classes, like these are the only ones that are available. I know they do have an online aerospace type program, so hopefully I could pivot in that a little bit. But yeah, there's a lot of, I think this is, I don't know what CSE means in GT, but yeah, there's a lot of like, non-CS classes in here. So yeah, so the point here being that there's like a ton of courses, and I'll link to all of these in the description actually, so you can comb through them, and they all have like descriptions. Like here's video game AI. This professor seems to teach a lot of classes about video games, which is pretty cool. I'll probably try to sneak in one or two of those. But yeah, so they've got like syllabi for the classes and different years and stuff. Yeah, like tons of information, all available online. And you can just bother people on Reddit if you can't find anything online. Anyway, so two more things I want to talk about. There is like a pretty wide GT community. There is the Reddit, for fear of like what the hell is going to be on the front page of Reddit. I'm going to leave that off. But there is like an r/OMSCS subreddit with a lot of good information I recommend. But two kind of more professional looking, quote unquote, areas for information. This is called OMSHub. And this has, like, it's a whole list of classes like we just talked about. But more interestingly, it also has, like, people's rated workload, the difficulty of the class, how much they rate the class, and, of course, the number of reviewers. So let's look at, like, GPU hardware, right? And so this has reviews from different people for the class on like how they think it went. So here, this guy's got a TLDR, meh, not terrible, but far from great. I don't know if this was the first. Yeah, so I guess the first was spring 2024. Yeah, inaugural offering, right? So it seems like, class is kind of developing. It's a new course. I'm sure they're kind of working out kinks. But these people are writing like pretty in-depth reviews. In-depth reviews of. Come on, where's OMSHub? There you go. Different courses, right? Like here's a class I didn't even notice. Look at, that has no reviews. How about computational photography? I think this one had some, yeah. That's a lot. Jesus. Hopefully that's an exaggeration. One of the worst courses I've done during my life. That's great. So yeah, clearly there's like some honesty going on here. and like wisdom of the crowd. Hopefully we can discern what the good classes are and what are not. And then last but not least, speaking of wisdom of the crowd, this is called OMScs.rocks. I don't know why that's the URL. It's this spreadsheet that shows things that shows the different classes and how many people are registered for them. So this has like some of the degree requirements, and then this is like the current semester. So actually, like, let's check in real time because I think it might be full by now. Let's check that AI for robotics class really quick. So here we go. AI techniques in robotics. It says it's an elective. I don't know why it says it's an elective because I think it's a core requirement. But yeah, it says that it's in the robotics specialization. Okay, so 74%, right? So we're doing okay. Hopefully I can get in in that first or second kind of period of registering for classes. So yeah, that about does it for everything I want to talk about. So in conclusion, right, like this is just a bunch of different pages on the website. It's a great website, a lot of information. The degree requirements, different specializations, the one I'm picking being perception and robotics, the vast amount of courses that you can pick between, the vast amount of information that hopefully informs picking those classes, and then of course registration hell, which will be the topic of next video. So next video, I will hopefully have registered already for my classes, and I'm going to talk about how the whole like time ticketing process goes, and it'll just kind of be my raw opinion because I have like some ideas of how it works. Like I know it's you're kind of low priority as a new student, which is understandable. I have some idea of how it all works, but we'll see how it actually goes and what my reviews of the process are. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I'm the unhinged engineer. I make content about software engineering, aerospace engineering, both on the technical side and the professional development side. And I'm also, as of last week, vlogging my night school master's in CS journey. So this is the second episode. If you liked it, stay tuned, subscribe so you catch the next one, and I will see you next time.